Hey, everybody, and welcome back to SpringleCon 2023. I am here with the super talented ASMR Weekly, and today we're going to be talking about ASMR. Hey there, ASMR Weekly.
Hello there.
How's it going? How's it going? Welcome.
How's it going?
Some of the people here in the chat might know who you are. Why don't we just actually jump into this? But for those of you who don't know you, where can they find you and what can they expect to find if they were to visit?
All right, so I'm on YouTube. The name is ASMR Weekly. It's pretty easy to find. And I do ambience or ambience videos, depending how you like to say it. And yeah, I also do ASMR role plays, but my channel is well known now by the ambiences, which are basically like cozy rooms, cozy places that I carefully craft all the sounds there, like fireplace, rainy sounds, that kind of stuff. So it's basically comfortable escape rooms, kind of. Not escape room like those you have to escape the room, but just a little place to escape reality, to focus or relax and just enjoy, the ambience.
Fantastic, fantastic. I was going to ask you another question, but now that you said this, it kind of makes me want to ask something else because you have a particularly unique angle on ASMR in that regards that you're doing ambiances. And I do believe there's a couple, actually a lot of I would call them ASMR artists. But do you think it is ASMR? Would you call the ambiances? Do you think it's fair to label that in that category, or would you yourself put them maybe in separate relaxation categories?
It's sort of a dilemma. I've thought about it quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I think it's part of it. Whenever when I think about the first times I felt ASMR, it was like the traditional thing, like I used to go to a haircut and then what is this tingly sensation or something, so that for me was the start of ASMR. But then I realized that sometimes when I was watching a movie or something, and there was this like moody scene, like the person is like in a castle or in a house in the field, like
Yeah.
those Pride and
Kind of
Prejudice sort
vibes.
of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like and then you have this rain going on and I would also feel a bit of that tingly sensation, because
Of
for me
course.
ASMR is very, very related to that tingly sensation. But of course, there's also people that don't feel it and just feel that sort of comfort and relaxing thing. So the ambience can do that as well. It can put you in that relaxing and cozy state.
Yeah.
So I think they correlate, but to be fair, on YouTube, they are very, very separate. Usually, they call it like ambience, and they call it ASMR. So I never felt like separating it. I always like to keep both things together in my
Yeah.
channel. So
I think that's actually, it's funny that this kind of came up because it is kind of one of those, I almost feel like this could be a panel. It's like where ASMR meets relaxation, because I think there's such a
yeah,
crossover there with guided meditation. And you see like the singing bowls and some of these
yes,
other kind of like spiritual things, which also encompass like nature type relaxation content, like the beach, you're on the beach and the waves just crashing on the sand. There's definitely a
yes.
part of that that's part of the ASMR experience. And I think that in itself is a really interesting discussion that probably you could just talk about for a long time, but I just thought
Yeah.
we could talk
And
about it briefly
and I
there.
do
Yeah.
think I now the we searched it, I think I did feel it like in real life as well, like not watching a video. Like
Yeah.
it's usually when you come up with like a place you've never been to. Like I remember like doing travel, like when I traveled
Mm.
to Europe once, and I was like walking into the sort of old castle that they do
Oh, yeah.
tours. I felt it. Like I was like into that different mood, and I just sort of
Yeah.
felt the sort of shivering sensation, like, and
Yeah.
that's ASMR, and it was not about sounds or anything. It was about the atmosphere,
Yeah. Like
really.
you enter an old Victorian room and it's kind of the sort of
Yeah.
like the old, like the wood sort of creaking and there's a candlelight. You're kind of like, oh, wait a second.
Yes.
Is
It's
this
like a whole,
I was
yeah, it's
like,
like
thinking
a
a
whole
few ASMR
sensorial
artists who came in.
thing.
Yeah, it's sensorial thing.
Yeah.
And that's part of the ASMR experience. You do think about a lot of the great ASMR artists and especially the role playing, and that's part of the whole. It's so important, the setting that like the scene that you're setting and everything like that. So that is really interesting how that's such a unique. Like I think as an ASMR artist, we probably don't think enough about that part of the equation, but it certainly is important. Let's jump on this next question here because I think this is kind of another one. I just wanted to jump in. Sorry to hit you with something serious there quickly, but it
Yeah.
just was something I really thought of right there. But it is SpringleCon, so a lot of people were celebrating for the holidays. I know you're sort of in the southern hemisphere. What do you do for the holidays? What did you have any plans for Easter? Did you do things with family? What is ASMR Weekly up to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a family guy, so yeah, I was with my family and just like giving lots of chocolate to each other, gathering, eating good food, and just celebrating being together. Really,
What
it's
life's all
funny
about, right?
because over here it's not going to be spring. It's the opposite.
That's
So yeah,
right.
it's
That's
going to
right.
be, it's starting autumn.
Is there anything that you are working on that maybe just you could share a hint or that you might just want to briefly share with your audience, something that you might that you haven't told anyone about?
Well, I don't keep any much of my projects a secret, but I am working on this year. Like I keep saying it, but this time I'm actually trying to create a schedule and come up with more role plays, and especially more collabs as well, small ones. I usually do like very big collabs that I need to be months working on it. So
Yeah.
I do think that smaller collabs, like 2, 3 people, you know, would be a good choice for me for a bit because I've spent too much time on some of the collabs I've done in the past,
Yeah.
and it exhausts me a bit. And then I don't do another one for like 6, 7 months or something, and
Yeah.
I want to bring more of these sort of short little stories, like little
Mhm.
role plays that have multiple characters with a little bit of a story background.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm planning for this year. So yeah,
That's
you can
cool.
expect to
Well, if
see.
anyone hasn't seen it yet, you did an incredible job on which I might be a little biased, but it was a part of the
Yeah.
animated ASMR video. Definitely go check that out. A bunch of the staff. I mean, I think it was the entire TingleCon staff might have been in that video. So
I
go
think
check that
so.
out. It's incredibly well done, and I can only imagine like the incredibly hard, meticulous work that it took to do all that. So thank you for
Oh
having me to be a
yeah.
part of it. ASMR Weekly, have you been a part of TingleCon? And if so, how was it?
I don't remember now. Have I? Yeah, I have. Last year, or was it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was on
yeah, it was
the
last year.
Christmas time. Christmas
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really fun. Like it's just like I was really nervous about it. I confess, like sort of an interview kind of thing, but it's just cool. It's just a nice talk. You're really good at it, Nathan.
Thank you
So
so
it was
much.
just
Thank you.
fun. Just fun.
Thank
Really
you.
fun.
Awesome. Well, it's been an honor to have you, my friend. It's been an honor to have you. So thank you so much for being a part of it. Okay, so let's jump on to our next question here. How did you get into ASMR? This is the most cliche question imaginable, but yeah. So how did you get into
Yeah.
ASMR, and how did you start creating it? How did you make that jump?
I just like searched for it one day out of curiosity. What is this thing? I found out the term. I Googled it. I found the videos. I watched the videos. I really, really liked them. And I just, after a while, maybe like a year of watching ASMR, I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it. Like it was kind of new. There was already very big people there, but I thought like, maybe I can bring something to it with my little special effects, my video editing knowledge, and I just jumped into it, and here we are now.
And the rest is legend. The rest is legend. So that said, what is your favorite ASMR video that you've ever made?
Oh, I
Or one of them. What? But let's actually favorite in recent times. Favorite in recent times.
Yeah, it comes back to that thing like there's the ambience and there's the role play ones. So like I am always so happy with the final results of the collabs. So it's always like the recent one, my favorite one for the role plays. All of them are marvelous because I'm just lucky that everyone comes in with their talent in, and just it's just marvelous to see everything together. So the animated collab that we just did a few months ago, that's my favorite one with real people, if you can say that, because everyone's animated. um
What do
and
you
my
mean? It was totally,
ambience,
that's how we look in real life.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah, no, no, yeah,
That's
yeah.
real.
This one is the filter.
This is
So
the
yeah,
fake.
yeah. And about ambience videos, I really like it when I come up with something good for like Hobbit stuff. I'm really known by Harry Potter stuff, but I
I was about to
do
say.
love a lot of the Rings thing. Like a Hobbit ambience, it's difficult to compete with.
Like if
So
you were to chill in one of your own
yeah,
ambiances, you might choose The Hobbit over
I
Harry Potter, is
would.
what you're saying.
And connecting to the previous question as well, this one is not out yet. I've started a sort of hobbits that went into different places sort of series. And there is an ambience video that I think people are going to love, which is hobbits in the highlands.
Oh wow.
So it's different places for hobbits to be, but it still has that same cozy thing, from them.
What about Hobbits and the Highlander? There can only be one. That's it. All right.
Yeah.
That was a dad joke. Dad joke. All right. I dated myself. Okay, so over the years, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the trends in ASMR changing. Is there? I mean, I feel like it would be, you can be a little political here, but do you have a favorite ASMR trend and a least favorite?
I don't really follow the trends to to really know, but I I think this connects to something we talked about last time as well. I think you asked me about this, which was about the mukbang thing. That could be my least favorite trend. I think I've never got diagnosed or anything, but I think it's something like misophonia, they call
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's actually question
Which
10. What is your position on mukbang? I mean, I feel like why don't we just hammer out an answer right now? I mean,
yeah,
are we saying
okay.
yes or no beyond mukbang? What are we saying?
I'm respectfully saying no.
Respectfully declining.
But it's just like it's involuntary. It's like the opposite of ASMR for
Mm,
me. Like when you scratch a blackboard with the nails and you go when you touch the what's that material called, like the
selfie sort
foam
of. Yeah,
thing,
yeah, yeah.
or even a balloon sometimes, like if you like try to put your fingers on a balloon or
Yeah,
something, like
gives
it
you
it
that
triggers
feeling.
me, but in a weird way, like
Yeah.
not so satisfying.
I think that there's a lot of people who feel that way. That's why I always bring it up because it's such a like a 50-50 question. It's like either you
Yeah,
love it or you hate it. And I
it
always
really
say it's interesting
depends.
because I like cooking, but I like cooking ASMR, but I don't like
Mhm.
the eating ASMR, which is always so strange. Um,
Yeah,
but I mean, that's why ASMR is a beautiful thing because there's an umbrella for all the different things that people love. So
yeah.
that's the one good thing there. Um, so this is kind of just a question that I think a lot of people would have, other ASMR artists, but um, how do you go about making an ASMR video? Like from the beginning to the end? I mean, just briefly, could you take us through like your process to sort of how you do it?
Well, the first is like the idea or the inspiration. I usually just wait for the inspiration to come in. Either maybe I watch a movie and I'm like, that could be a nice ambience, or maybe a role play. And sometimes I'm just scrolling down Instagram or something, and I see something that I also feel like would be a good idea. And
Yeah.
then I take inspiration on that. And if we're talking ambiances, um, first thing is like to create the background image, which could be done like searching for real images.
Mhm.
It could be
Mm,
recently I've been playing a lot with like AI,
yeah.
sort of, and I don't rely only on the AI. Because it's still like perfecting it, and
Mhm.
there's also the whole discussion about the is it really something new? Is it like stealing from another artist? There is that.
Yeah, of
So I
course.
usually create something. I've been using it recently, so to sort of explain the process, I come up
Yeah,
with
please.
a base background on it,
Hmm.
and then I start to on Photoshop like paint on top of it,
Mm,
blending in with some real objects. Like maybe I want to put a chair in there, some books. So that's like real photographs
mm.
photoshopped in. So
Yeah, yeah,
I tried to change it. Like I tried to work on it. I can't just like type in, oh, I want this and make it for me,
yeah, yeah. Of
So
course.
so I put some work on it and then need to start thinking about animations. Like what can I do here that will bring some life to it? And then I just sit down with like my gallery of pre-recorded sounds,
Yeah.
some of mine, some I find online. So I just sit down for hours, like just listening to it really,
Wow.
like someone would. And I'm just like, oh, is the rain too loud? Like, let me lower it a bit, maybe put it more to the left here because the window is on this side, and put a
Yeah.
bit of fireplace, a bit of page flipping from a book, just really feeling it. uh and that's that for ambience. As for the role play, it's kind of similar. Need to get that inspiration out of the blue,
Mhm.
and then I sort of just practice. I don't like to write down like a
Mhm.
script or something. I just sort of practice it in my head like for a day before. Just during the day. It's like crazy. Like, oh, what would I be if I want to do a wizard role play and I'm healing someone? I
Mhm.
start to think like, okay, how am I going to begin this? Oh, hello there. Are you hurt? Where have you been through? Oh, someone attacked you. And then I start to see what works, in my head, sort of memorize it. And then I just film it, sort of
Yeah.
improvise a bit. And then we come back to the ambience because I like to do them in the background of the role plays.
Of
So
course. Yeah, yeah.
I set up a background, some sounds, all of that, set up the mood, and then just spend hours editing. Editing is my it's my favorite part. Some people hate it. I do love it. It's where the
That's great.
magic comes
You
up.
like the you like the whip. You like to crack the whip on yourself to
Yeah,
go
I
through
mean,
the editing process.
I just love seeing like the colors change, the visual
Yeah.
effects appearing, the extra sounds, all of that.
Yeah.
It's like magic for me, really.
Me too. I agree. That's one of the coolest things. You have to really enjoy making videos to do YouTube. That's for sure. That's been really incredible. That's one of the most unique workflows I've heard in terms of like, everyone else is coming from a different perspective. But what would you
Mm.
say is the thing that takes the most time for you, just out of curiosity,
Ah,
of that
well,
process?
when it comes to the ambience is the sound design because I
Mm,
do stay
yeah,
on it. It's the most important part, really.
of course.
Sometimes
Yeah.
people just play the video and they go do something else. They don't even look at it. So I sometimes I feel like, oh, am I spending too time on the visuals? But no, they have to look
Yeah.
good as well. And when is the role plays, I think it's the setup, like getting ready for it, technically like setting the lights, that kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
then getting in the mood as well. Sometimes you're
Mm,
doing something else in your day and maybe you're on the run or something, and you need to put yourself in a more slow down kind of pace, Oh, let me talk a bit more calm with you, and let's do a ASMR in here, you know.
that's
Uh,
hard.
and some
That's very hard
and
with
s-
ASMR.
and some days it just doesn't work out
No.
because usually because I try to improvise, which sometimes I think is a mistake a bit. I should have a bit more of a script to guide me. And then I just realize I'm like not improvising very well. And then I'll record again and again and again. So yeah.
All right. So I think this is probably one of the most important questions, and we just have a couple more left here. What do you think is the hardest lesson that you've learned about being a creator over the years? Is there any advice you might give to a younger self about content creation?
For me, the lesson was, I think, patience, because nowadays it just sees like someone starting and they get lucky and then they got like 100 million subscribers already. And you're like, okay, I'm doing everything wrong. Like my channel sucks because I only have like 80, 100 subscribers. It's been a month. It's never going to work. Something like I've actually had like some friends, like they try to start it. And the main complaint was always like this, like, am I doing something wrong? Like, is the videos terrible? And no, the videos are great. They're fine. It takes a bit of time to like spread the word, to get seen. Sometimes it's about luck. Sometimes it's about how much you spam the other YouTubers comments section or something like that. And it's it's a process, And for me, it took like almost a year to get 100 subscribers, I think. And I always felt like maybe it wasn't going to work out, but I kept working on it, kept going. Second year, it was like 5,000, I think. And then it started to like, oh, wait, what's going on? And lots of people started, and it was because I finally found what my public enjoyed and what I was, a bit unique on doing, which was like the ambiances, especially Harry Potter, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then everyone just started to like, oh my God, I love this, And so I think my lesson was patience. If I had given up earlier, I had to wait almost 2 years or something to be able to sort of start leaving from it. So if the person needs to balance that out with work, the day-to-day life activities, it can be really difficult to keep the high spirits. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd really take an emotional hit on those videos, especially because there seems to be a correlation between the amount of effort and how badly it performs. Like the more effort you put in, the more the algorithm's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna make you depressed for a month before I set this up.
And sometimes it's not even related to it. I think like there was a lot of people that were really emotionally hit by the YouTube feature that they added, which was that top 10 lost videos. You know that stuff?
I do. Absolutely.
You post a video and it says like, oh, this is number 1 from your last 10 videos. Or then you post a video and it's like 8 or 10, and like, wow, I did a terrible job. And it's not like that. It's not like that. Sometimes it's the day of the week, people are not watching it, and then like 2-3 days after it picks up, sometimes it was really bad for real. But no, it's just you need to be happy with what you're doing, and if the people are happy with it, then then everything is working well. But you can't be all driven by numbers all the time. It's something that you need to kind of overlook sometimes, so that you don't get demotivated. Yeah.
You also, I think, have to find, that's one of those key things about that first year where you're really honing in on your skills, working on maybe making 100 videos is what I've heard, but you have to kind of find enjoyment in making videos. I think like when you really, I've talked to a lot of YouTubers and a lot of who have succeeded, and the main thing that like a lot of people don't think about, because they think about content creation as a personality driven thing, but the one unifying force is most of them love to like edit, produce, make the videos, film them. Some part of it, they just love doing that. And that's why they just keep doing it, because they enjoy the creation process. So you do have to find the love of the art form for sure within that. If you're driven by numbers only, it's going to lead to a lot of depression. But one last thing, just that a lot of videos also can take months to run, or even a year. You never know how long until the algorithm might push something, some trend, news event.
The algorithm's crazy.
Yeah, the algorithm's
it's crazy. Sometimes a video of yours like 5 years ago will suddenly today become really famous. It's
Yeah,
like that.
that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. All right, so let's move on to these next questions here because I know we're both running out of time here. But is there something that you remember maybe like has ASMR changed at all, do you think, since you started creating?
Oh, sure. Yes. Yes. I
How do
think
you think it's changed?
I think in the beginning, at least what I used to watch, it was mostly very lo-fi, you know. Not meaning that it was like intentionally lo-fi, like people try to do it today, but it was really like, since it was not huge channels like with great cameras or great microphones, it was really homemade, you know, and people filming in their closets so that they
Yeah,
didn't have disturbing sounds, with sort of grainy footage because it was low light. People already had a feel for the ambience. They knew it had to be like a low light thing, that kind of thing.
yeah,
And I think it just got more professional, mainly. Like it got like better equipment, that kind of stuff, since people started to get big on it,
yeah.
and they ended up like living from it now. So it's like a professional YouTube. You want the best quality, you want all of that. But like in essence, I think it remains pretty much the same. And it's like it doesn't change. It's just that you get to know different aspects of it, because there's always new triggers coming up, new things that you didn't know you felt tingly about, you know. So it's like new discoveries only. The only thing I see different is maybe this quality jump, I would say.
And I think that's probably reflective of YouTube in general, because you could just take Mr. Beast, for example. You look at his first videos and they're terrible. They're like low quality. The audio is this, it's on a
Yeah,
webcam. And then you look at his new stuff and it's like millions of dollars spent per video and teams of 100
yeah.
people. And so it is, I think, a general direction where YouTube is shifting towards, the bar is being raised by different
Yeah.
creators, and you have to meet the moment. Similarly with
It's the
music, you listen to
4K
yeah, the
HDR, all
4K
of that.
movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait till the 8K. That's when it's going to be 8K,
Yeah.
12K. Okay, great. So let's move on to the next one. You answered the next question, which is about mukbang. So we got an answer from you there.
Yeah.
Medical role. This is only three
Sorry.
questions left. They're the easy ones. This is the easy ones. Yes,
Okay.
actually, he's so mad at you now. Medical role plays: cranial nerve, general checkup, eye exam, ear exam, or other. Which one do you go for? Both
Oh,
as a creator and a viewer, which one would you choose?
I think I'm pretty sure I've never done a medical role play.
Wow, that's rare,
I've
man. That's
never
rare.
done it.
Oh, it's so
Mostly,
overappreciated.
mostly can say they did, right?
Yeah.
But I've never done it.
Wow.
And and to be honest, I also don't watch so much the medical ones. Like, I don't know
Wow.
why. I don't know
Wow.
why, but it's just my exclusive,
That's almost a better
personality.
answer. That's almost a better answer
Yeah,
than if you did watch it. It's more surprising.
because yeah, because it's like I guess I didn't go so much to the doctor, and whenever I went to, it was always like really white, and I was like, I don't like this so much, you know.
The
They
lights in
touching
your
like
face.
this, yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
touching
yeah.
these like cold metal things to see if you're breathing right, and like, uh, so my thing was always more like haircuts or in real life, that kind of thing triggered me. Also, one of the first times when I was a kid was when I was in like a shop, and my mother asked for the guy to pack one of the things, like for a gift, and he was just like doing it like so perfectly, almost robotic, but like it was just like the technique, like this, and that triggered me. So I think it's it's like that, it's like when you see someone doing something they know, like they do it in a specific way with a
Yeah.
sort of technique that triggers me. So I understand why people see that in doctors, because they are professionals, they know what they're doing, so sort of just like go and you trust them. and that's sort of
And they're healing you.
ASMR-ish.
They're
Yeah,
healing you. So I think that's an aspect where it's like
true.
that nurturing moment too.
So
Um,
yeah, I would like any medical role play with that. Like, but I don't have a specific one because I am actually not I don't watch it so much.
it's not your thing. It's not your thing. Well, and
Yeah.
that goes back to, again, there's just so many different styles like music. There's infinite styles of ASMR, just like with music. You can have a guy who just plays piano, and you can have a person
Yeah.
who plays with a 80-piece orchestra, and it still sounds good and you like it. So that's the key. Okay, so we got two more questions, very quick ones. So I guess this is kind of a two-parter, but it's so I guess one hard one and one easy one. Um,
Mhm.
what is the biggest challenge you see for ASMR in 2023 moving forward? Or just what's your thought about ASMR in 2023?
The biggest challenge, well, maybe be more creative than last year. I mean, there's not really. I mean, the challenges. I think it's the what people set up for themselves. Like it's almost like a New Year resolutions kind of thing. This year, I want to do more creative stuff. I want to work in group more. I think
Yeah,
2023 with more group collabs would be great. I think when the community comes together, it's like very magical moments. So maybe let's unite more.
yeah.
let's let's do stuff together. That's always wonderful. And maybe I don't know if that's still a thing. But like if like ASMR is still seen with weird eyes by people, uh, if that's still a thing, then that's a challenge for this year. Like prove to people that it's come on, it's ASMR.
It's an
It's
art form.
like,
Come
oh,
on, guys.
it's artistic. It's tingly, shivering. you
I
know?
still think we do have that problem. I would say that obviously, like you
Yeah.
see it in like HBO shows and things like that, but that is sort of what I was going with this question. Is I think that there still is challenges with getting scientific study as well as
True.
mainstream acceptance of ASMR in general. Just that it's more than just a weird thing. That it's also like an art form. It's a form. It's like relaxation. Like you do ambiances. So that in itself, just that's not creepy. That's like nature sounds.
Yeah.
It's something
And I,
natural. It's something interesting, relaxing.
and I think everyone knows it. Like they know the bad one. I usually connect to these two because it's like a sensorial response. They all know like the weird sensation when they hear the classic nails in the blackboard. Like they know that annoying sensation, which is kind of like a shiver. People some already know the good one usually from music. Like they hear a very powerful voice in a moment and they get that, they give it another name.
Frisson. That's what
Frisson,
they call that.
frisson. Yeah.
Frisson. Yeah, yeah.
And I think they all sort of connected. And so I usually explain to them, like,
Yeah.
that bad one, like you when you scratch your nails, like and you get that weird thing. It's like that, but it's like the good one. It's just
That's a
a
great way to
sort of
describe it
it's
though.
just a sensorial thing, but when you do in this way, it's sort of just pleasing. It's like this sort of relaxing thing just goes through your nerves, like your nerve system. It's sort of like that.
That's a really good way to describe it. I like that a lot. Okay, so we go down to our last question. This is an easy one, or maybe it's a hard one, depending on your thoughts. But if you could make ASMR on a deserted island, you've got all the equipment. Like this is like you're going to this island to be on like make YouTube ASMR forever. What ASMR prop would you bring with you?
Probably something I never use. And I just thought about it now. Like it's pretty easy. Like those sort of fidget things, which has many sides with like a clicking or a this or that. Like
Yeah,
that would be the sort
multi-tool of
of
ASMR.
yeah, the sort of Swiss knife, thing. You just like have all the different things here, like click, click, like you just have it all in one small thing. You can
ASMR
do
Swiss Army
everything.
knife. That's it.
Yeah, I
It's
need
a
to buy
theme,
that
man.
now.
It's a theme.
I need to buy it. It's
Yeah,
very,
I
very
was going to
useful.
say, like, we've had this discussion now multiple times. I don't want to say anymore, but I think someone needs to make it. If you're out there, big business, big money for
Yeah.
that ASMR Swiss Army knife. Okay, great. Well, that was really, really fantastic. Is there anything else you would like to, once again, it's ASMR Weekly on YouTube. We're so appreciative to have
Yeah.
you. Is there anything that you would like to, parting words you'd like to give to our aspiring ASMR artists or ASMR fans out there?
Oh, I wish everyone a wonderful year of content creating, you know. I wish everyone a lot of inspiration and a lot of time to make the stuff they want to do. Because God knows we don't have enough time to do all the ideas we have. But yeah, I wish everyone the best of luck.
And with that said, our TingleCon for the main event, our TingleCon applications will be opening up right after SpringleCon. So stay tuned for that as well. And with that all said, thanks again to ASMR Weekly, and we'll
Thank
see
you.
you later on.